Listen, I want you to hear me loud and clear right now. Life is never going to hand you perfect circumstances. It's messy, it's loud, it's unpredictable. People will hurt you, plans will fall apart, and moments will break your heart. But here's what separates the successful from the stuck: how you act when everything is trying to shake you. You have to act as if nothing affects you. And I'm not talking about pretending problems don't exist. I'm talking about owning your response. I'm talking about waking up every single day, putting your feet on the ground, squaring your shoulders and saying, I don't care what life throws at me today. I am unshakable. Do you think confidence is something you're born with? No. Confidence is a decision. It's a behavior. It's a choice you make every single time you want to shrink, but choose to stand tall. And acting as if nothing affects you, that's confidence in action. I get it. Life hits hard. People talk. Opportunities vanish. The world throws its weight on your chest and dares you to breathe. But when you act as if nothing affects you, you flip the script. You take back the pen. You say, I decide how I feel. I decide how I move. I decide what gets my energy. That is your power. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you stopped and asked yourself, what if I just stopped reacting? What if every criticism, every failure, every unexpected turn didn't shake you to your core? What if instead you looked it straight in the eye and said, you don't own me? That's the energy we're channeling today. That's the power of acting as if nothing affects you. Because when you stop being emotionally hijacked by every little thing, guess what happens? You win. You win your peace, you win your focus, you win your damn life back. Acting like nothing affects you isn't about becoming cold. It's about becoming calm. You stop letting external chaos dictate your internal world. You stop letting someone else's mood ruin your day. You stop reacting to things that are beneath your purpose. You rise above it. And I'm going to tell you something radical. You don't need to feel like it to be like it. You don't need confidence to take action. You need to take action, and confidence follows. So even when your knees are shaking, even when your stomach's in knots, even when your mind is screaming, what if I fail? You move, you act. You walk into that room, you pick up that phone, you show up to that moment as if nothing can touch you. You know what that does? It builds resilience. It teaches your brain that you are safe in discomfort, that you are powerful even in fear, that you are unstoppable even when life tries to stop you. And here's the magic. The world responds to the energy you give it. You walk into a room with certainty. People listen. You speak with conviction. People believe. You carry yourself like nothing affects you. And suddenly, the things that used to crush you no longer even register because you've outgrown the noise. Your power comes from your presence. It comes from your ability to stay grounded when everything around you is shaking. And don't you dare tell me you can't do it. You've survived worse. You've made it through storms you thought would drown you. You've already proven your strength, you just forgot. This isn't about ego. This isn't about pretending you're invincible. This is about discipline, grit, emotional strength. It's about being the calm in the storm, not the chaos in it. And when you do this, when you consistently act as if nothing affects you, do you know what happens? You start to become that person. It's not fake. It's not a front. It's who you are becoming. You're building a mental fortress. And every single moment you choose not to react, every time you choose composure over chaos, you're laying another brick. You've got one life, one chance, one shot to build something you're proud of. So don't give that power away to people who don't matter. Don't hand over your peace to problems that don't deserve your energy. Don't let distractions rob you of your destiny. So the next time life throws something at you, pain, pressure, pettiness, I want you to take a deep breath, look it dead in the face and say, I see you, but you don't move me. Because from this day forward, you're walking differently, talking differently, showing up differently. You're not begging for peace. You are the peace. Act like nothing affects you, and watch how nothing can stop you. Let's get one thing straight. You will never, and I mean never, be able to control everything that happens around you. People are going to talk. Plans will fall through. Life will blindside you when you least expect it. That's the deal. That's the game we're all in. But here's the truth. Nobody talks about enough. You don't need to control everything around you in order to win. You just need to control one thing, your response. That's it. That's the game changer. That's the power move. You want peace? You want focus? You want to stop feeling like life is dragging you around like a rag doll? Then take back your response. And when I say that, I mean own it. You don't get to blame your mood on your boss, your family, the economy, or the weather. You don't get to say, well, I'm upset because they... No, you are responsible for how you respond, always. And the moment you embrace that, everything begins to shift. Because look, the world isn't going to get easier. It's not going to magically line up just because you want it to. In fact, the more you grow, the more resistance you'll face. That's life testing you, pushing you, shaping you. And most people, they crumble. They react, they panic, they complain, they spiral into negativity the second something doesn't go their way. They're like emotional ping pong balls bouncing around based on whatever the day throws at them. But you're not most people. You're here to rise above. You're here to act like nothing affects you. Not because you're numb, not because you don't care, but because you've decided you control the story. You decide what gets to live in your mind. You decide what gets your energy, your attention, your emotion. And most things, they don't deserve it. Think about this. How much of your day is wasted reacting to things that don't actually matter? Someone cuts you off in traffic. A coworker sends a passive-aggressive email. Your friend doesn't text you back fast enough. Your plan didn't go perfectly. And suddenly your energy's drained. You're distracted. You're off course. Why? Because you gave away your power. You handed it over without even realizing it. Now imagine this. Imagine you start practicing a different habit. Something bold, something radical. You decide, no more reacting. You decide, I stay calm, I stay focused, I don't flinch. People can say what they want, life can do what it does. But you stand tall, you breathe, you don't respond out of impulse, you respond with intention. That is strength, that is maturity, that is self-mastery. That's not pretending you're fine when you're not. That's saying, I can feel everything, stress, fear, disappointment, and still choose how I show up. That is the kind of power that makes you unstoppable. You see, when you train yourself to act as if nothing affects you, you're not becoming fake. You're becoming free. Free from the emotional grip that outside forces have on most people. Free from the chaos of constant reaction. Free from the habit of letting small things steal your joy. And that kind of freedom, that's where real power lives. And listen, I know it's not easy. It's not something that clicks overnight. This is practice. This is daily work. This is catching yourself when you're about to snap and saying, nope, that doesn't deserve my peace. It's about waking up in the morning, deciding who you want to be, and refusing to let the world knock you out of that alignment. Let me tell you a little secret that top performers, elite athletes, world-class leaders all know. Composure is a weapon. It intimidates the noise. It confuses the critics. It makes people lean in and wonder, how does that person stay so calm? How do they keep showing up like that? And the answer, you train it. You practice it. Every single time something tries to knock you off balance and you stay rooted, you're building that muscle. And guess what? The more you do it, the more powerful it becomes. You stop flinching. You stop overthinking. You stop reacting. You start moving with purpose. You start choosing your emotions instead of being hijacked by them. You start leading your life instead of following your feelings. When you stop reacting to everything, your energy skyrockets, your focus sharpens. You start doing your best work. You start feeling more in control. Because now, you're not spending all your time putting out fires. You're building something. You're building you. A version of you that doesn't flinch. A version of you that leads. A version of you that walks through fire and keeps going. Because you've made a decision. Your response is yours. And nobody gets to take that from you. So the next time life throws something unexpected your way, and it will, remember this. You don't have to react. You can pause. You can breathe. You can center yourself and say, I don't control the storm, but I do control the captain. You're the captain. And when you choose composure, when you choose intention, when you choose to act like nothing affects you, you unlock a whole new level of power. Because the truth is, it's never the thing that breaks you. It's how you let it affect you. So don't let it. Choose different. Choose power. Choose peace. Choose to respond like the person you're becoming, not the person the world expects you to be. You are not here to be emotionally tossed around by life. You're here to lead it. And it starts with this simple truth. You may not control the world, but you always control your response. One of the biggest lies you've been told, the thing that's keeping you stuck, playing small, waiting, is the idea that you need to feel confident before you can do the thing, that you need to wait until you're ready, that there's going to be this magical moment where you wake up and the fear is gone, the self-doubt disappears, and you finally feel good enough. Let me tell you something as clearly and as honestly as I can. That moment is never coming. Confidence isn't a feeling you wait for. It's a muscle you build. It's a behavior. It's the action you take before you feel ready. Every single person you've ever admired, every person crushing it in life right now, every leader, athlete, creator, entrepreneur, they didn't wait to feel confident. They moved first. They acted. And confidence came later. You don't need motivation. You don't need to feel good. You don't need anyone's permission. You need to move. Because confidence is not something you're born with. It's something you earn through repetition, through grit, through action, in the face of discomfort. But here's the kicker. It's not just about big leaps. It's the small decisions you make daily that build real confidence. It's waking up and showing up. It's doing the thing when it's easier to avoid it. It's speaking up when your voice is shaking. It's pressing submit on that application. It's making the call. It's saying yes before your brain talks you out of it. That's the stuff confidence is built from. Not thoughts, not feelings, but action. And you want to know what happens when you act, even when you don't feel confident. Your brain starts to rewire. You prove to yourself that you can do hard things. You show yourself you can survive fear, that you're capable, that you're strong. Your self-trust grows. And over time, that self-trust, that's what turns into unshakable confidence. The people who look fearless aren't fearless. They just have a habit of acting in spite of fear. Fear is normal. Doubt is normal. But what's not normal, what's rare and powerful, is the person who moves through it anyway, the person who doesn't wait to feel ready, the person who acts as if nothing affects them, even when inside they're trembling. Because that's courage. And courage creates momentum. Momentum creates growth. And growth builds unstoppable confidence. You have to stop telling yourself the story that you're not ready, that you need more time, more experience, more certainty. That story is not truth. It's fear. And it's lying to you. It's keeping you in your comfort zone, where nothing changes, where nothing grows, where nothing incredible is ever created. There is nothing outside of you that's going to give you permission to become who you're meant to be. That permission has to come from you, and it comes the moment you realize that action, especially uncomfortable action, is your greatest weapon. When you move, when you decide, when you take the leap, you signal to your mind, we are not waiting anymore. We are doing this now. And the moment you do that, your whole life begins to shift. You think people who succeed don't have fear? You think they don't struggle with self-doubt, insecurity, imposter syndrome? They do. The difference is they act anyway. They lean into the discomfort. They don't wait for the fear to leave. They just get louder than it. So let me ask you something. What are you waiting for? What are you letting fear delay? That idea you keep holding back on, that conversation you're avoiding, that step you haven't taken yet. You think you're waiting for confidence, but confidence is waiting for you. It's waiting on the other side of that decision. It's waiting on the other side of that risk. You want to build a life you're proud of? You want to feel confident walking into any room, tackling any challenge, chasing any dream? Then you need to start doing the things that scare you. You need to start showing up for yourself even when it's messy, even when it's imperfect, especially when it's uncomfortable. Confidence is not loud. It's quiet. It's built in the dark. It's forged in the moments nobody sees, when you choose courage instead of comfort, when you fail and get back up, when you risk being seen and decide to show up anyway. That's what builds the version of you that doesn't shrink, doesn't hesitate, doesn't flinch. There will be moments where fear will scream in your ear, where your brain will try to talk you out of every move that matters. That's what brains do. They protect you. But you're not here to stay safe. You're here to grow. And that growth, it demands action. Not later, not when it's perfect. Now. Every time you act without waiting for confidence, you are voting for the version of yourself you want to become. Every time you choose bravery over fear, you get one step closer to the life you dream about. You don't have to feel like it. You don't have to be certain. You just have to move. Because confidence, it doesn't come before, it comes after. So the next time you doubt yourself, the next time fear shows up, I want you to hear my voice in your head saying this. Move. Do it anyway. Act like the person you want to be. You don't need to feel strong to be strong. You don't need to feel confident to act confidently. You just need to take the next step. That's how confidence is built. One brave action at a time. You ever walk into a room and someone's presence hits before they even say a word? You know what I'm talking about. That person walks in and you can feel something shift. People turn to look. They listen. They lean in. Not because of what that person's wearing or how they're standing. It's their energy. It's the quiet confidence. It's the unshakable calm. It's the nothing affects me energy. And I'll tell you something most people never learn. That kind of energy is louder than any words you'll ever speak. The world doesn't respond to what you say. It responds to how you carry yourself. It reacts to your energy, your tone, your posture, your vibe. You can say all the right things, but if your energy doesn't match your words, nobody's buying it. If you say you're confident, but you're slouched over, eyes down, voice shaking, that's not confidence. That's insecurity pretending to be brave. But when you walk in like you belong, like you've already won, like nothing rattles you, that's when things shift. That's when people feel your presence. That's when they start believing you before you even open your mouth. Because energy doesn't lie. You want to change your life? You want to be seen, heard, respected? Then stop trying to talk your way into it, and start showing up with the kind of energy that speaks for you. You've got to start acting like someone who's already worthy, already powerful, already unshaken, because the world can't give you what you don't first believe about yourself. People can smell insecurity. They can feel desperation. They can sense fear, but they can also feel calm, strength, certainty. And here's the key. You don't have to be fearless to project strength. You just have to stop letting fear run the show. You can feel nervous and still walk in like you own the moment. You can feel unsure and still speak like your words matter. That's the difference. That's how energy works. It's not about faking confidence. It's about choosing presence. You choose how you show up. That's yours. Every time, and it starts with your body. Stand up straight, shoulders back, chin up, eyes forward. That posture, that's a message to your brain. We're not shrinking today. Your brain believes what your body tells it. So you change your posture, you change your physiology, and suddenly your brain starts to believe it too. Then comes your voice. Speak like you mean it. Don't apologize for existing. Don't trail off. Don't shrink your words to make people comfortable. Say what you mean. Say it with clarity, with strength, with belief. Even if your voice is shaking, especially if it's shaking, that's how you build real presence. That's how your energy starts to match your worth. And here's something wild. People don't remember what you said half the time, but they always remember how you made them feel. That feeling, that's your energy. That's the part of you that walks into a room before your words do. So what do people feel when you walk in? Do they feel anxiety, or do they feel assurance? Do they feel noise, or do they feel clarity? You don't need to be the loudest in the room to have presence. You just need to be the most certain. And certainty doesn't mean you know everything. It means you trust yourself to handle whatever happens. That's the kind of energy that makes people pay attention. That's the kind of presence that opens doors, starts conversations, and builds influence. Think about the leaders you respect. It's not just what they say, right? It's how they say it. It's how they hold themselves. It's how they walk into a space and take it over without saying a word. That's energy. And it's not just for CEOs or speakers or celebrities. It's for you too. You don't need a title to carry yourself like you matter. You just need to decide that you do. When you act as if nothing affects you, your energy shifts. You stop reacting to everything. You stop letting people's moods mess with your own. You stop absorbing chaos and start radiating calm. You become the anchor in the room, not the wave. That's powerful. That's rare. That's magnetic. Because in a world full of people who are distracted, reactive, emotionally all over the place, the person who stays grounded, that person stands out. That person becomes the one others look to, the one people trust. And that trust, that's influence. That's leadership. That's the energy that opens doors most people can't even see. But here's what's important to remember. This isn't about being fake. This isn't about pretending you're okay when you're not. This is about deciding how you want to show up and training yourself to bring that energy, no matter what's going on inside. And over time, that chosen energy becomes your real energy. You start to believe in yourself because you keep showing up like someone who believes. You start becoming the version of you you've been waiting for. So tomorrow morning, when you step into that meeting, that classroom, that stage, that call, I want you to stop and ask yourself one thing. What energy am I bringing in right now? And if it's not aligned with who you want to be, change it. Lift your chin, set your shoulders, slow your breath, and remind yourself, I don't control everything, but I do control how I show up. I do control my presence. I do control my energy. And if you keep doing that, if you commit to bringing powerful, grounded, clear energy into every room, it's only a matter of time before everything around you starts to change. People treat you differently. Opportunities find you. Respect follows you. Because you're no longer just speaking words. You're embodying them. You're living them. You're walking in power, and the world feels it. You know what most people forget? That your emotions are not permanent. They are data, not directives. Feelings are powerful, yes, but they're also fleeting. They're like weather. One minute it's storming, the next it's clear skies. And yet, people build entire days, weeks, years of their lives around a passing emotional state. They cancel opportunities because they don't feel like it. They hold back, lash out, give up, all because an emotion took the wheel. That ends now. Because if you're going to act like nothing affects you, if you're going to walk through life like the unstoppable force you were built to be, then you need to master this truth. You are not your emotions. Your emotions are real. Yes, they're signals. But they are not in charge unless you hand them the keys. And you don't have to. You can feel angry and not react with rage. You can feel anxious and still speak in front of the room. You can feel tired and still finish what you promised yourself you would do. You can feel all the things and still act in alignment with who you want to become. That's where real power comes from. Not from avoiding emotions, not from pretending they don't exist, but from standing tall in the middle of them and saying, I get to choose what happens next. It's the difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is emotional autopilot. Something happens and boom, you're yelling, you're crying, you're shutting down. Responding, that's presence. That's self-leadership. That's you acknowledging the emotion and still deciding, this is how I will move. Think about it. How many times in your life have you let a temporary feeling create a permanent regret? You didn't go to that event because you felt insecure. You didn't send that message because you were afraid. You snapped at someone you love because you were stressed. And afterward, when the feeling passed, all you were left with was the fallout, the missed moment, the guilt, the disappointment. That's what happens when you let emotions control the story. But it doesn't have to be that way. You are a human being, not a robot. You will feel things deeply, intensely. That's not weakness. That's being alive. But here's the difference. When you start to witness your emotions instead of obeying them, you unlock something that 99% of people never do: emotional discipline. Emotional discipline doesn't mean you're emotionless. It means you feel the fear and still act with courage. It means you acknowledge your sadness, but don't let it cloud your entire day. It means that when anxiety shows up, you don't spiral. You breathe, you ground yourself, and you keep moving. That's strength. That's real emotional fitness. That's what separates the people who are tossed around by life from the ones who lead it. And here's the thing. The ability to act as if nothing affects you isn't about being cold or detached. It's about being resilient. It's about knowing that your feelings are temporary, but your actions have impact. It's about choosing behavior that serves your growth instead of indulging in reactions that sabotage it. Let's get practical for a minute. You wake up one morning and your mind is already racing. Doubt, stress, overwhelm. It hits like a freight train. That's fine. That's normal. But now you've got two options. Option one, you let the emotion run the day. You skip your commitments, isolate, scroll on your phone, eat your feelings, complain. Or option two, you say, I see you, anxiety, you're here, but you don't get to decide what I do today. And then you do the things you said you would. You stick to your plan. You move your body. You show up. You lead yourself through it, not because it's easy, but because you've decided to stop being a prisoner to passing moods. That choice, that's the foundation of emotional mastery, and it's a habit. You build it moment by moment. You catch yourself when you're slipping. You breathe when the reaction rises. You pause when the old patterns creep in. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be aware, because awareness is what gives you the power to pivot. Start training yourself to pause. That's one of the most powerful tools you have. That tiny gap between stimulus and response is where your power lives. You get cut off in traffic? Pause. Your partner says something triggering? Pause. You feel imposter syndrome rise before a big moment? Pause. And in that pause, you breathe. You check in. You remind yourself, this feeling is real, but it's not in charge. I am. And over time, you stop being controlled by the chaos. You stop being hijacked by emotions you didn't ask for. You start to become calm under pressure. You start to lead yourself through storms that used to take you out. You start to develop the kind of grounded presence that people feel, that you feel, because you know you're not at the mercy of how you feel. You're at the command of what you choose to do. You are the decider. You are the captain. And every single time you choose presence over panic, discipline over drama, stillness over reaction, you're rewriting your identity. You're becoming the version of you that can be trusted with big things, because that version of you isn't ruled by emotion. They are guided by purpose. So next time the emotion rises, and it will, remember this: you're not your thoughts. You're not your feelings. You are the person watching those things. And that means you always have a choice. Will you act based on who you've been or who you're becoming? You already know the answer. The future version of you? They don't get thrown off by every shift in mood. They don't spiral every time the day gets tough. They pause. They choose. They lead. And it all starts with this one truth: your emotions don't control you unless you let them.